one of the kind of people that'll bring things to the stage, bring people to the stage, and she's like, right in my ear because I'm holding her.
It's like,
it's right here. And it literally started crackling.
Mm-hmm.
Like not just like a ringing, but it was like crackling, ringling.
Oh my
ringing.
God. Ringling.
Ringling. My ear was ringling.
It was ringling.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of More Than Meets the Eye. It's the podcast where we reveal what is hidden between the JT Visuals Podcast Network, and hopefully you find that it's all positive. Usually, More Than Meets the Eye is a negative term, you know. Mm-hmm. I'm here with Kathy Coates, and we just launched a new podcast.
Hey.
It's called Be Life Changers with Kathy Coates. So this episode is all about what it takes to launch a podcast.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm in for it.
That's awesome. But right before we begin, one of the things when it comes to podcasting is this.
Okay. What is this?
A box.
A box.
Open the box.
Open the box. Okay. I like opening boxes, guys.
She's opening the box.
Is fun. Okay, here we go.
Getting right into it. What is it? What is it?
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at it. Be Life Changers. It has my name, Kathy Coates. Love it. Love it.
Nice.
Yay.
She's got a 40-ounce tumbler here.
And I do. I drink so much water. That's going to be great. That's probably why they got 42 ounces is because I'm always drinking a ton of water, right?
There's a straw too if you like it.
Oh, I love it. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Look how pretty those colors are. I love it. I love it.
So that's one of the best ways to support a podcast, too, is to be able to get merch. And that's one of the things we try to hook everyone up with on the podcast as a way to grow.
Love it.
So we could actually start launching sales for these tumblers. So if you would like a tumbler for the Be Life Changers podcast, if you know that podcast, or you just want to go and support podcasts, especially local Kansas City ones, then getting something in return is always a nice way, you know? So they can get these tumblers that everyone's doing, but you can also walk around with pride that you're supporting a local podcast and a local business and the message behind Be Life Changers.
Exactly. Well, that's what's so important, you know, is to make sure that, you know, our small community, small businesses are getting, you know, recognition. And yes, this is a great way to do it. Like water.
Yeah.
And you make sure you get your water in for the day as well. I love these. They keep your water and your drinks so cold. And so I'm always carrying, my husband tells me, so, you know, I have pop-up shopping. You know, that's how I started with pop-up shopping events. And so you know how women usually have like collection of shoes or purses?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I don't have a lot of shoes. I don't have a lot of purses, but I'm
saying you have to define a lot.
Yeah, a lot. Like, well, I probably have over 50-something pair of shoes.
That's not a lot.
Okay, but anyway. And then
I don't know. Is that a lot?
I don't know.
That's a lot.
And then purses, no. But my husband was like, if I come home with one more cup, like the whole is full because I love them. They're
but
so
now
neat.
You have to because it supports a local podcast. So boot out some of the other ones that are probably blank.
Oh, no, none of them are blank. They're all made by my creators. So
okay.
It's okay. I'll kick out his, that one of them is blank.
Well, we can leave it here, too, because it's great to have something to drink out of while podcasting.
Yes, we all know I need a drink when we podcast.
Yep. So speaking of, we're going to do a quick sponsor break so she can go and get some water with her new tumbler.
Yay!
If you've been thinking about making your own podcast like the one that you're watching or listening to right now, then JT Visuals is definitely the way to go. And that's JT Visuals without the I because there's more than meets the eye. Podcasts for business are popping like crazy. Everyone and their mom is starting a podcast. Why should you start one? Well, because the truth is it's actually still not too saturated. Not only do you get a show that's all about your business and bringing on guests and spotlighting them and stories, but you're also getting clips and media to put onto social media platforms. Whatever your vision is for your business that you want to accomplish and how you help people, Social media is the outreach for that. And when you have a podcast show, it is the easiest way to get started and to conquer that social media that everyone's telling you you need to be doing. We will do everything, so all you have to do is help come up with topics in collaboration with us, show up for a couple hours, and then leave, and everything else is handled for you. We would love to have a quick call with you to see if podcasting is right for you and if JT Visuals is the way to go for you. Just go to our website at jtvisuals.com. That's jtvsuals.com. jtvsuals.com. And now back to the show. All right, Kathy. Well, you got your water there, and here we are back on the show. I don't know who was sponsoring at the time of this. It was probably me. That sounded like I was crying, but I could do a better one. Did you do a maniacal laugh?
I'm like, like that?
Yeah.
Okay. I have all them boys. 4 boys. Yeah. I should be like,
Have you seen the Muppets? Maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh. Sorry.
You're doing way better than
maniacal
me.
laugh. The reason why I'm doing that is because it's actually really a good warm-up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can dig deep to kind of force that out, then it actually helps.
Okay.
It can also make your heart pound more. So if you're ever nervous, it could actually make it worse too.
That probably would be me. No.
Okay, so Kathy, you just started a show.
Mm-hmm.
And let's talk a little bit about that experience of why you started your show.
Mm-hmm.
Let's let everyone know what is it about and why should they listen.
Okay, well, that's kind of a deep question. No.
Yeah.
Where it started?
No,
where it started was, it started before I ever knew about it. To be honest, we had lived. Well, I'm born and raised in Salina, Kansas, and we moved to Wichita for 13 years. And then my husband we either changed jobs or directions, or he got surplused out. And so we moved to Atlanta, Georgia. And that was a point in time where I had to reflect kind of like where I am, what I'm doing. And if you want to know more about that, go check some of the seasons out before, you'll be able to see it. But in that time, I came up with the name Be Life Changers when I was journaling and praying and asking God, where am I supposed to go? What direction am I supposed to do? And I kept hearing Be Life Changers. So you know how you write something down in a journal and then you just kind of go on and, don't pay attention to it for a while?
Yeah, and then you're like, where was that?
Yeah, where was that? Exactly. Yeah. And then when I came back here to Kansas City, I saw a friend and we ended up getting together and coming up with the idea of starting a business. And basically, she kicked me out the boat. And that's how KC Women's Events came about. And at that time, I'm thinking, wait a minute, Be Life Changers. I thought that was the name of a business. But okay, I'll go this way and see what direction it went. So I kind of didn't really realize at that point, it kind of went to the side again, like Be Life Changers. Okay, that's to the side, So years of helping small businesses by doing pop-up shopping events. We had like our Spoil Me Silly and Wow, You're Getting Married. Those were fun. We had like
And explain a little bit of your pop-up shopping.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Like your merch or what?
So pop-up shopping, I would rent castles, mansions, golf clubs, wineries, all their kind of fun event venues all over Kansas and Missouri. And we would pop up a shopping event where people can, especially women, it was basically for women, but we had men who liked to come too, so we didn't just exclude them, So there's, you can come shopping, pampering, prizes, fun music. Sometimes we had live music. So it was really fun. So it's like having a big party. I'd like to have a party. You didn't get to know me well enough for that yet. I like to have a good party.
Well, I quickly learned,
I love to throw
last
parties.
night, we're like, oh man, we feel like we partied too hard. And we're like, that's what happens when you don't do it normally.
Exactly.
And then you get worn out.
Oh, every time I throw an event the next day, I'm like out. Don't ask me to do another thing.
It's past 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
In my youth, I was like, oh, that's not very late.
Right.
I used to be a night owl.
Well, I am a night owl still. I mean, I couldn't help it. Having as many kids, 8 kids, you end up learning to be a night owl, morning owl, every kind of owl. That's what it
Every
is.
kind of owl.
Every kind of
I
owl
know
there
someone who
is.
thinks he's an owl.
Oh, there. Okay. But yeah, so we would do fun events like that to help business get their brand out. And also be able to make sales. So it helped a lot of people because, of course, my passion, I raised, since I mentioned 8 kids, I raised, stayed home to be that stay-at-home mom. And had to find ways to hustle, opened a daycare and did all kinds of fun things like that, too. I cooked bread, so many breads one year to make Christmas that year. So I think we did over 100 breads. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. No, that was 100 of one, each one of them. So that would have been closer to 500
You're hustling
breads.
hard. Did you say Christmas?
Christmas, yeah. So they could have Christmas because my husband was in
Dude, my
college.
mom used to do the same thing. It was bread dough ornaments and stuff like that. And she would make crafty things and go and sell them.
Yeah, that see and sell probably, something like that. Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. That's what us moms do to make sure you guys have Christmas.
It's a hard hustle.
Yeah, it is. But my husband was in college, so we wanted to make sure the kids didn't have to feel that, because of course there's a little bit of financial pressure. So we always did the extra things, and that's what us moms do. And so that's what Spoil Me Silly was all about, was to make sure that women who are at home or even corporate, because let's be honest, everywhere women are, we're givers. We give, give, give. So that was 3 hours that someone can come and get rejuvenated, get out and have some fun and spend time with their friends or bring their family. A lot of mothers and daughters came in, so that was pretty cool. And then not only that, it helped support those small businesses. A lot of them were women who were home, trying to stay home with their children or didn't want to work the corporate job, so they wanted to have their own. And that's what we supported to make sure that everybody knew about them. Yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah.
You're always uplifting people.
Well, awesome.
And
yeah,
that's
I love
how
it.
you used your business or side hustle, whatever you want to call it, as a means, as a vehicle to be able to help give someone something more than like an item.
More than an item. So it actually helped the women get a break, and it helped the pop-up businesses there to get their exposure and sales, So,
so there's more than meets the eye.
Yes.
Because you would think that, and a lot of businesses do this too, and it's probably the wrong thing, but as consumers, we think they're setting up just to make, money. And maybe they have reasons behind the money, but there's got to be more to it, in my humble opinion.
Right. Gotcha.
That, you can't just have your own personal gain to make these sales and stuff. There's more to it than that. There needs to be something that includes others. What's in it for them, other than the item itself.
Right.
Because causes go a long way. And when people latch onto a vision, then it goes even further. And they're like, man, I want to get behind this. And that's brand building.
Exactly.
By that point.
Right.
It's like, why do you care about this check mark on a shoe? You know?
Right.
Why does anybody care about that?
But there's a story behind it.
Because there's a story behind it. There's a certain feel behind a brand, You're like, ooh, I want Nike,
Yeah, well, and knowing those stories. So I wanted to bring those stories to the forefront, because a lot of times if we don't know the story, we'll just walk by it and not buy it. But when you know the story behind a brand, it is more than meets the eye. Like you said, it's more. And people are like, oh, okay. And then you start following, and then you get into the cause. You get into the,
Yeah, and that's what I love doing on this show. So definitely subscribe if you haven't. Go ahead and give us a 5-star rating if you're into that. Actually just make it honest, an honest rating. Unless it's a 1-star, then just why even spend your time over there? Come on.
Who would do a 1-star? Nobody's going to do a 1-star.
I'm just saying. I want people to be real.
Unless somebody's a hater, nobody's doing a 1-star. But
there's always a story behind it, and there's a story behind a product. There's a story behind a business, and that's what we want to bring out on this show, more than meets the eye, as well as have some fun and peel back what's going on with JT VSUALS Podcast Network.
Got you.
And you're what's going on, because we just launched
thank you.
Be Life Changers with Kathy Coates. Definitely go over there, raid that podcast.
Yes, please do.
Go subscribe. you will like it. You will love it. You will grow if you're in business, but you'll also grow if you just, want to be encouraged with life and discover your purpose.
Exactly. Discovering that purpose and making sure that, businesses here in Kansas City and around areas, we'll probably reach out and go into Kansas and Missouri eventually, since that's where we have these pop-up shopping events. I know businesses all over. I want to make sure that people know about them, know their story so that they know how to do that. So,
dude, and what better platform than on podcasts, because you can always bring it in and then share that story in a long form. So those people that really want to engage can engage, and they have a way. And then also, not to say the clips you get.
Right, exactly.
to market out there and push those stories out there. So thank you for being here.
Hey, not a problem at all. Not a problem. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
So that's a little bit about your show. Guys, definitely go and listen to that one. So now we're going to dive into a whole new segment.
Okay.
Push the clutch, because this is going to change everything on this show.
All right.
Right now, this episode. So
let's do it.
We've kind of teased this segment that we want to do called Keep, Tweak, or Yeet.
Oh, okay.
And that is one of the best, in my opinion, that's one of the best feedback things that you could ever do for anything. So like after an event, you could go to your team and be like, what should we keep after that event? Like what went well? And then tweak. What are some things that could be better, could improve? And then yeet. What are the things that we should probably just throw out or not do again? What flopped?
Love it.
And it's good to measure all of that. But what we want to do here on this podcast is review content.
Love
and
it.
I know you are great with content.
Oh. Okay.
yeah, you're good. She has this whole thing called Content and Cocktails. So she knows social
fun.
media.
Yeah, it's fun. I had to. Yeah. You have to.
And you've gathered a lot of people too, to be able to help with your Kathy Coates Events.
Yeah, you say Casey because it went there. I was Casey Women's Events. We rebranded to Kathy Coates Events. So you're right. I'm both. I'm still both. I still got the LLC with Casey Women's Events. So when I throw women's events, we can go back. But you're right, capturing that. Yeah.
So what we're going to do, this is going to be fun, and I encourage you to go watch on video, but if you're not watching on video, it could still be really fun, so stay tuned in. But we're on video on YouTube, so wherever you're listening, head on over to YouTube if you can. If you're driving, just use your imagination. We're going to scroll social media together.
Ooh, that'll be fun. I love it.
And then it's not going to be a doom scroll. We're going to learn things. Some of it might be a waste of time, and then some of it we're going to be like, why do we think this got 1 million hits? Why do we, and kind of take that down. What should they keep? What should they tweak, or what should they yeet?
Love it. Let's do it.
And these are made public, so it's okay to be able to do this. And keep, tweak, and yeet is one of the most positive ways to be able to review people. We're not out here to bash everyone. Unless they deserve it.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, so let's go. Here we go. So this is the algorithm for JT Visuals, which isn't totally tuned.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind. But let's see what we got here.
All right, let's go.
We make 450 pieces of content a week. And so people were like, hey, man, I've been making content for 90 days. And that would already put them in the top, 1% because everyone gives up. But if you actually made a post every day for 90 days, I'd be like, it's amazing. That's 90 posts. I do that in 2 days. But they get there and they're like, but I'm not Mr. Beast yet. People think that someone else is doing 2 times or 3 times as much. But it's more often that they've done 1,000 times or 10,000 times the amount of work that they have. And this is why I think the vast majority of people dramatically underestimate how much volume it is.
On that one, why do you think I stopped on that one,
Because it resonates with you. Yeah, and what you do. So I think a lot of times when you scroll and you stop, that's why I tell people you have to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Who is your audience, first of all, you know, and knowing that, because then you have to take yourself out of your shoes and then put yourself, in the viewer's shoes to why would you stop? So, you have to ask yourself, why did I stop at that?
Yeah.
And then reverse it when you're coming up to create content.
And I just lost it, but those first few seconds got me in.
There's actually a really fascinating study.
If you're running LinkedIn ads, do you actually...
No. This is because it's me. When I see gear, so it's...
Okay.
It's saying creative team versus social team.
Okay.
So this is interesting to me because,
Right.
we're in the creative space.
Right.
And it was a visual hook.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at it and I'm seeing all this gear and it's really awesome. And that's the whole creative team. They get to have fun. And then the social media team is like,
Over here. Over here.
like a tiny little kitten.
Because it is.
And I
It's
think that's
behind
kinda
the
funny.
scenes. Nobody sees that part.
Yeah. Almost 4,000 likes on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder how many views.
Well,
Oh, there it is. Just watched. Okay.
There it is. Yeah. That'll help.
That's got about 80,000. So that one's hitting some algorithm. It's quick. And I
Mhm.
think that's why. I
Right.
think it's hitting 100% retention to a certain group of people.
Well, and the hook. That
The
visual,
visual hook, yeah.
That visual hook is like, because it grabbed your attention quickly and then switched quickly. Did you see how quick it switched?
Yeah, it did.
It wasn't, sometimes I think we can have that first part of the reel or, or that we're making or TikTok or whatever. It can, if you don't quickly switch, you've lost people's attention.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of that other clip
Mhm.
it was more of the message, like when it was Alex Hormozy.
Yeah.
That was just a podcast clip,
Right. Yeah.
Why is that getting attention?
Mhm.
It's not, it doesn't have any of the visual, but it has the audio because of the content you're saying.
The content you're saying. And like I said, it resonates with you
Yeah.
because that's, of course, your algorithm. So it
Yeah.
resonates with you or whoever's watching it to stop. We can feel that,
Yeah.
we can feel what he's saying.
Personally, I think once dispensaries start to look like this.
If you are someone who's ambitious, this is me
He's
just
back.
talking.
I don't want to
Okay, my one
again.
Dylan! Hey! What are you doing?
You get out of high school, you don't know what to do, and then you start playing video games and you're on social media. A day can slip by like that.
Yeah.
A day becomes a week, becomes a month, becomes a year.
To be
Before
honest,
you
on
know
this
it,
one,
you're
what
30.
drew me in was the synth sound.
The sound.
The
Gotcha.
pad, the piano pad.
Yeah. I think that it makes a difference.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
I kind of actually looked at it because I was like, are they going to start bashing video games again? But then he got to a different point because I'm tired of people bashing video games.
Right.
But it's like, you shouldn't complain. Like, if
Mhm.
people go around, they complain, I don't have time for this, but then it's because they're playing video games.
Right.
That's when it's like, dude,
Right.
then you can't complain. Just stop complaining.
Right. Exactly.
But
Right.
for, I've actually used video games a lot to be able to reach people and like
Right.
talk to people, have
Mhm.
good quality time with my kids, we play like that Ninja Turtle game.
Oh, yeah, definitely. 'Cause
So I
think
was kind of looking at what he was going to
where
say
he
about it.
was
Where's
gonna
it going?
Because everybody goes a different way. So you're
Yeah.
kind of like, where is he going with this? Which is good where they started it. They give just a little snip and then they went straight to the video game, which makes you think, what are they going to do? So that it
Yeah.
did its job,
Yep. Oh, this is on the algorithm because I've heard this guy before. Dude, watch this.
Okay.
All right, let me find the one if he's on here. All right, this can be one we end on because this one's just so good. It's Jude's perfect pitch is insane.
Okay.
All right, Jude, I hear you have perfect pitch.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to play a little game. Ready? So what is this note?
D,
What this one?
G, B flat,
Wow.
A flat.
Okay, what about these chords? So what if I play like this chord?
Ooh, so it's an A flat major seventh.
Yeah.
What? Get out of here.
Ooh, so it's an F dominant seventh. Oh, so it's an F major seventh.
Oh.
It's an E major seventh.
What the heck? Okay, what about this? I'm going to play individual notes on the piano.
That's crazy.
Oh, so it's F, A flats, and a D.
Oh, with this one?
Ooh, it's a B flats, an A flats,
Wow.
and an E.
Dude, that's crazy.
Wow.
And then his laugh at the end is so awesome. Like,
Yes, that
The-
laugh. Yeah, but that like brings horror
Horror?
memories back to me from being in piano.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I had piano lessons back in the day, and oh,
Do you think this would have stopped your scroll, or just mine?
I probably would have stopped just because of again being in piano. I'd be like, what is he doing? Like
Yeah.
and then when I seen him, of course, I love people that are different, like
Yeah.
like especially young. I
Mhm.
like to like support them, so it's kind of like, what are they talking about? Like, what's
Yeah.
he doing different? So yes, I probably would have stopped.
Yeah, this is really cool. I like it for the human side, you know, the
Right.
behavior, and it's nice to know that who's that other guy that's like Pitch Perfect? He's
Oh,
got a lot of songs
goodness.
out.
Oh, you ask me names. You know I'm not good with names.
Guys, let us know who you think I'm talking about. He has like that spot in his eyebrow all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it.
I'm
And he'll be like,
sorry.
here's a beat. Well, what if I add this? And then what if the melody went like, da, 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 you know, and then he would combine it all.
Oh, you're like, what? Okay.
Why am I forgetting his name? All right, whatever.
It'll come to you. It'll come to you in a minute. You'll be talking in just a minute and it'll come back to you.
But I also like this clip because it gave me an idea. And I'm like, the humor side of me makes me want to go like recreate this.
Right.
But in a way that like, how do you know all this? And then it cuts to like someone showing the cue card on the script or something.
Oh, I mean.
He's like, ha, 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 ha. It's right there.
Except for this kid. You know he knows it.
And I would try that as a test because like, what if you did everything beat by beat exactly how they did it? Would it cut through the algorithm the same? You know?
Right. Oh, that'd be interesting to find out.
And that would be an interesting experiment. You'd probably need to look similar too, just because he has those glasses and he's a kid, and so he's younger, you know?
Right. Yeah, you'd have to do that, I believe.
Yeah. But I think that's really interesting. That one's all keep. I don't even like see any tweaks or anything.
No, I wouldn't tweak anything because he's just his original self. You want to be yourself. You know, if you're in this case. Now, there's some things you wouldn't, but in this case, you have to be yourself.
Yeah, and they did Jude's perfect pitch is insane on the visual text hook at the very first frame.
Right.
And that's good for thumbnails.
Well, I think so because he wasn't in the first frame. So it's just somebody with their hands on the piano. So I think having that visual hook, I mean, that had to be a keep. Because if that wasn't there, it would definitely be a yeet. Because
You want to know what's interesting, though?
What's that?
So, and I'm glad the culture went this way, but do you see the caption here? Like the copy of the post? It just says, I'm convinced at Jude is going to be a star and star emoji. That's it.
Right.
That's all he wrote about that video.
Well, I think sometimes we think we have to write a lot, and actually less is better a lot of times. I mean, I know even when testing some of my own, content, sometimes less really has been better.
Yeah.
Especially because you have to be very precise and catch someone's attention. Because, I mean, do you want to read all day long? I don't.
You know the ones I don't like? I'm sorry if you do this, but you can keep doing it. Just for me.
Oh, okay.
Now, I don't know if you do it.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, I'm just teasing. Here we go. Here it comes. Is he going to have his foot in his mouth?
I don't like the ones that are like, it's a video and it's like, read the caption.
Oh, I never do that.
And then you have to read. That's like so Instagram style.
Right.
And I think for like reels and everything, it's got to be more TikTok style for it to work right.
Right.
There are ways more on Instagram. Instagram is a little more on the creatives, wouldn't you say? Like it's more of those. It's either the woman who loves all the curly fonts kind of thing, or it's the creative, like with someone with a camera, someone with like on social media influencing management. That's what I see a lot, and that could just be my algorithm. But Instagram's so different, and there's a lot of culture on Instagram that's like, just read the screen. It's like, I don't want to read the screen. It's a video. Come on, show me something.
Right. Well, Instagram is known for like reading the screen a lot.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And they started hacking the algorithm. I saw some people doing it because when Instagram first moved to video, they started rewarding video so much that all the old photographers are like, great, you know? And so now they would put their photos as like a 30-second video.
Right.
And it was a way to like cut through the algorithm at the time.
Right.
Yeah. And then like gone are the days for like protecting your grid. Do you remember that? I went through a phase of like, I want my grid to look like this and then this and then this, and I'm hiding stuff.
Right. Yeah, or all looking color coordinated. Is that what you're talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah, and that is not the way to do it now.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I mean, I know there's people that are OCD and have to.
Yeah. Which it's
have
cool.
to. It's cool. I mean, it's very, and I guess it depends on what industry you're in. I guess certain businesses may attract that, but mostly no. And I've had to like even come up against, other marketing and be like, you're getting a little too much like a commercial. Nobody wants a commercial anymore. And they're like, Kathy, you're too out there. I'm like, no, I can prove it. Nobody wants a commercial anymore. I mean, do you like the guys showing up on your doorstep talking about, hey, do you want
No.
to get rid of your bugs? Like,
No.
if I don't know, I don't want you at my doorstep. Thank you. So it's kind of the same thing. This is your doorstep,
Yeah, that's
social media is your doorstep. Instagram is your house.
that's really
TikTok is your garage. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, don't come to my house.
Yeah, you're so right. And it's
Yeah.
like social media is actually more interest media now, you know?
Right.
And it's more about what are people interested in, and instead of like the only social part's really comments,
Right.
maybe a little bit of DMs, but
Right.
because there are some people who have met people over
Oh, yeah.
social media, of
Mhm.
course. But it's not real. Like, it's people behind a keyboard are real, but
Mhm.
sometimes even they're fake. Like trying to be a keyboard warrior and things like that.
Right. And I think, for the most part, most people know, but there's still people. I mean, I'll even hear sometimes my husband will be like, I'm like, honey, that's just set up. It's not real. Like, somebody did
Yeah.
that. That's set up.
Yes. Like they
I'm
get
so-
sucked into the
like,
retention
yeah,
videos
I
that
was
are
like-
20 minutes long of trying to figure out what's inside this safe.
I know. It's like, what? No, it's not real.
We should make one of those, and it's
Oh, my
like
goodness.
it's just an invite to watch a podcast.
There you go. At the
It's
end.
20 minutes
Come
long
watch
of
Be Life
retention.
Changers.
Man. That's awesome. Yeah, that's the biggest metric nowadays.
Right.
And right now, it could, you never know when it changes, but
It changes all the time.
it's so developed enough that now it's just a battle of which social media platform. And so everyone wants your attention, all the like social media platforms.
Mhm.
So TikTok's fighting for your attention, YouTube's fighting for your attention,
Right.
Facebook is, Instagram is,
Mhm.
LinkedIn is. And so all of those platforms have started, and I think TikTok pushed it,
Mhm. Right.
where retention became the biggest thing.
Mhm.
And so the longer someone watches it, the more they reward it on the algorithm.
Right.
And it's not like, remember back when everything was linear on the algorithm,
Mhm.
and it was like everyone you followed, you would see their stuff based on the time they
Right.
posted.
Right.
That was when you could overpost.
Mhm.
That was when it was like, oh, Kathy just posted 5 photos in a row. Does she not know that you can do a carousel or, like things like that?
Exactly. Yes.
Oh, man, do I want to see all that? I don't know. I'm going to hit like on one of them, but not all. I don't know. It
Right.
was kind of weird like that. But then it's shifted, and now we're in this because it's video focused.
Oh, yeah.
And so every platform wants you to stay on their platform.
Right.
It's just business. The
Mhm.
longer you stay, the more they make money because they have better stats for ads and sponsors,
Mhm.
and they start throwing that in more.
Exactly. Well, yeah, it's the way they make their money, the money-making part of it,
Yeah. But the
Yeah.
exciting thing about that is
Yeah.
it don't matter anymore if you have 10 million followers or 2 followers.
Oh, no, yeah. Yeah, it is coming back to that, where you don't have to have you can be that micro influencer, and
Yeah.
a lot of businesses are going back to that because their following is sometimes more engaged.
Mm.
Like, so if you're a micro influencer, you have, I want to say control, that's not the word I'm looking for, of your audience, but your audience has more eyes on you. You have more of a relationship with them. But
Oh,
when
yeah.
you have millions of followers, that touch is gone. So yes, millions of people see it,
Yeah.
but their following isn't as apt to say, I'm going to go get this cup. This is
Yeah,
Life Changers.
I
You
know what you're
understand what I'm
saying.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, but if me being a micro influencer, everybody be like, I gotta have the cup Kathy
Yeah.
has. Like, you know what I mean?
'Cause
Or
which
she's my
metric?
friend. Like, yeah.
Which metric do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know how many views and how many followers you have? Or do you want to know how much impact you have?
Right.
And that's
Right.
the impact part is very difficult to measure,
Oh yeah.
but you can measure a little bit of sales. Like if you are business to consumer
Mm-hmm.
or have merch or something like that, you can see numbers on sales and you can be like, oh, I only got
Mm-hmm.
1,000 views, but I got 50 sales.
Right.
That's
and that
like-
matters more.
That,
Right.
higher impact,
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot more of a benefit. And
Oh, yeah.
that's what I like about the algorithms now, actually. Like,
Right. No, I think it is they're much better. And I think, TikTok, kind of the battle between them, challenging Instagram. And, even though Instagram and Facebook are kind of the same, not really. I mean, they're different, I think, even though, they transfer that way. But I think the battle between them all, it kind of keeps it on the right path. You know what I mean? Like, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then let's not forget YouTube. I was
Oh, yeah,
thinking about this the
YouTube.
other day. I was like,
should say that.
YouTube has like the highest value when someone subscribes,
Definitely.
and they pay out so much money because they actually know that it's run by their influencers.
Right, exactly. I think that's why I sometimes leave them out, because I feel like they're on their own playing field. Like they're like, here's that, here's social media, here's the YouTube.
And they're a bridge. I feel like they're a bridge between
Yes.
TV and social.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't have a
So
LinkedIn
true.
app on your TV,
Right,
And
right. So
I
true.
don't even think we have Instagram, right? I've never seen I'm not even
No.
looking it up if there is
No.
one.
No.
Like,
there's
why am
not.
I doing that? And then the same for TikTok. They don't even...
No.
Facebook tried to start something. It was like Facebook video.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of cool because they had
Right.
like Mike Rowe had a show on there and it was really good. I like Mike
Okay.
Rowe.
All right.
It was
I guess I didn't see
Return
that.
the Favor
Okay.
and it was exclusive to Facebook. And they had some apps on a TV and you could go and watch. But I like that YouTube is like,
Yeah, YouTube.
it really is that bridge. It's like,
It is the bridge for everything. I mean,
Yeah.
you can do anything, like literally.
yeah. And then subscribers from there are just so much more valuable than any other place. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's the highest priority when we do a podcast. We don't even care how many are listening on the podcast platforms.
Right,
We want to push them all to YouTube first.
right.
Go 2 digits, triple digits,
Well,
quadro digits.
and I think if you think about it, like on social media, it's that first hit. Like, when you're on Instagram, it's like you don't go back 3 years ago to find out what somebody posted
Oh,
on
yeah.
Instagram. But literally, YouTube, you can go back 5 years and listen to what somebody put on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
It's important. I mean, because like you think about, maybe it's how to change out the dishwasher or whatever. And it
Yeah.
could definitely be
Yep.
something that posted 3 years ago. It doesn't matter because it's going to be the same way. I
Yeah.
mean, it might be a different model, but
Yeah.
you understand
Because you
saying
can
those
do
things.
YouTube differently. Like,
Yeah.
and sometimes you could do it based on instructional things for
Right,
searches.
yeah.
And that's a fantastic way.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear this a lot. It's like, make a lot of content that's how not to hire you. And it sounds like it's counterintuitive
Right.
or counterproductive
Mm-hmm.
because we're trying to do that. If I sell based on how, like, we hear those quotes a lot and they're really good quotes,
Right.
but you can lead them up to a point, and then offer something. But when you teach people how to not hire you, you actually become the expert in that field and you
Oh, yeah.
end up getting a lot more leads and a lot more credibility because of that.
Well, I can see that, definitely. I mean, like, because it's what not to do. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, because people are like, oh, okay, yeah, I need to change that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to our segue that I want to announce.
Uh-oh, we're going to announcements.
We are starting courses of how to start your own podcast.
Yay!
Well,
that's
say
awesome.
what?
Say what?
But don't you want to take our money? Don't you want to fund your business? Heck yeah, I do. But I have a bigger vision than just making
Yes.
money.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see good content out there. And I
Yes.
want to play a role in that because if you're out there and you have this grand message that you feel so compelled that you should start a podcast for,
Right.
and you think it's going to better people's lives,
I get it.
then I want to support you in trying that.
It's
Like, I want to support dreams, So a lot of podcasts are things people dream about now,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone and their mom has one.
Right.
So it's like, why start one? But
It's not.
what do you say to those who are like, oh, it's too saturated? Like,
Well,
what do you
it's
say?
definitely. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. It's not too saturated. I mean, you may think it's saturated, but it's definitely not. There's room for everyone because everybody's story is different. I
Yeah.
mean, your story is different than somebody else's. The way you do your podcast, it may be different than somebody else. And a lot of people may resonate with you, but some other people may resonate with another company,
Right.
and that's fine. But you are doing your God-given purpose by even teaching others, because that's
Chills.
what you're supposed to do. And so you always know where you really are, because if you feel saturated, then you're in the wrong spot, is how I say.
Yeah.
Because
like mentally, right? Wrong
mentally,
spot mentally.
like wrong spot mentally, because literally you should be able to sit right if you're right next to, just like when me and Michelle started KC Women's Events, we both were in the health and wellness industry, and we would set a booth right next to each other. In fact, send people to each other, because there are some people I knew she could help that I couldn't reach. But I had such a passion to help people have a healthy, spirit, mind, and body that, of course, I want them to get the help that they need, because in return, they're going to have more respect for me and then come back to me later when they need something else. And I feel like that's the same way in podcasts. You're still helping people. It's still going to come back to you. I can't believe you can't outgive giving. When you give, it comes back to you. It just does.
I love that. That's awesome.
It does.
And
Always.
then you start to run into, I actually started running into this a little bit, but I had to get over myself.
Right.
And be like, why am I trying to be so competitive in a bad way? It's not even the fun competitive. I like fun competitive. Like, hey, let's see whose podcast going to get the most listens, or something like that. That's healthy. But I had that, and I had to have this mindset shift. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to share the vision I have for JT Visuals, because if someone steals it, who has funding for it, number one, I'm so confident that no one's going to do it the way that I am called to do it.
Right.
Exactly. And then number two, it's just that if they stole it, my vision should be so bigger than myself that even if they stole it, it's like we're expanding, because now there's more people taking hold of that mission.
Right.
So really, I'm kind of honored if that starts to happen. So now I'm like, crap, I should have shared my vision sooner publicly, because then it has this published date of when it was, and you can always revert back to that.
Because it's still going to come back to you. Even if they do that, they're going to say, think about how many coaches you have that you give credit to getting the idea you had. Or, I learned this from, Jennifer Allwood, or, you understand what I'm saying? So I always give credit to those people who trained and taught me. And so it's the same thing. If you're going to get up and teach about how to start a podcast, somebody may go out and do something, but eventually it's going to come back to you that, okay, I learned it from JT Visuals. You see what I mean?
Yep.
And so it comes back to you as credibility. So maybe it's not a person on your network, but it comes back to you as credibility.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So, exactly. Just like with my events, people would go and, people are going to do exactly what you do, Kathy. Well, that's great, but they're not me. They won't be able to do it like me, and that's fine. I'm honored that somebody would go do a pop-up shopping event, because great, that's helping businesses, and that's what I want. I can't do enough of them. Think about how many. There's no way my hands could put up that many pop-up shopping events to help all the businesses I want to help.
That's a good point.
It's kind of the same thing with a podcast. You can't handle that many podcasts to get out, this information that people, businesses, community needs.
Then we actually have to be good for everyone too. So if we had 20,000 potential podcasters come in at once, that's going to, that would be exciting. Maybe we would find a way, but it'd feel like it would kind of destroy the learning of the best practices as we go,
Right. Exactly.
So sometimes things are snowballed too, instead of just all of a sudden. It's like have you ever heard that? It's like a 10-year overnight success.
Well, I always say this, because I've looked at it even in my own career. I'm thinking sometimes, man, I should be a lot further than I am. And I sometimes get hard on myself. And then I realize if I would have had back then what I wanted and I have now, I wouldn't have been ready for it. I wasn't equipped. I wasn't trained. I didn't have, I thought I was, but I really wasn't. It wouldn't have ended up like it is today, because now I've went through those experiences, those hardships, those trials, and overcome them. So now when that heat comes, I'm able to handle it. And, so you grow the way you should grow so that you
Yes.
can have a firm foundation instead of one that's shifting because it falls.
I couldn't agree more.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
where I was 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm doing the math, maybe like 5 and 3 months. So
Mm-hmm.
it was March 2020 when we started. I would scare myself. Hey, yo, Jared, where are we? Where are we in 5 years?
Yeah,
That's a past self saying it. And
Right.
then I'd be like, yo, we're out at Sprint's old marketing department. You have
Mm-hmm.
a team of about 5 people and you got these awesome podcasts. Oh, yeah. And by the way, you're on your way to be the premier Kansas City Podcast Network. What does that mean? Like how much money we make, and all
Right.
that. And
Mm-hmm.
what about the stress? And like how many kids do we have? Like the
Mhm.
personal side. I would scare myself because I never thought of myself as a business owner
Right.
at all until I listened to like Gary Vee podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, and it was kind of the E-Myth,
Mm-hmm.
if you read that book, where I was the technician. I knew all about marketing and branding, but I didn't know how to run a business.
Mm-hmm.
But very quickly, God showed me someone who's become a partner with a podcast, and also I utilize his services as a coach and accountability, and now he's a friend too.
That's perfect.
And so now there's that person that I can trust and rub
Mhm.
shoulders with the right kind of people, and they just
Right.
bring you up.
Exactly.
So get in the right environment, and they'll bring you up.
Right, and that's important. It's kind of like I had told my I had this conversation recently with my daughter. You have to watch your circle. And
Mm.
if people start to leave that circle, they're supposed to.
Yeah.
You will have haters. You will have people that, you thought believed in your vision and then all of a sudden didn't. But your circle will
They
get
built the
small.
scaffolding
Yeah.
and then kind of left.
And then left. Like,
Yeah.
oh gosh, but that means you're growing.
Mhm.
You need to grow, and your circle needs to. You never want to be the smartest one in your circle. You always need to be getting, going up in levels. And if those people don't go with you, then they are to fall off. They were just for a moment, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
I was just doing the math. I was thinking of the team of 5. I was like, wait, hold on. We have like 8.
Well-
Like when we include all the rest of everyone that sometimes do project stuff.
Right.
Anyways, well, thank you so much for being on this show.
Hey, no
I
problem.
think it's really awesome.
Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, guys, let us know in the comments below, whatever platform you're on. Let us know what you want to see more of on More Than Meets the Eye. Did you like the Keep, Tweak, or Yeet when we scroll? We also want to collect your content, and if you submit your content to the email that's in the description, or whatever the call to action is, because I haven't typed it out yet, then follow that call to action in the description and send your content our way, and we can show you our thoughts, or like if it's already posted, share us the link. We can reshare it as well. And then also join our Facebook group that we're starting.
All right.
You're going to love this because I think you do
yes.
something similar.
Okay. All right. Let's do it.
And it's called the Comment Army.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
And-
where you get, everybody.
And we just want to like be able to pick 10 people
Mhm.
within that group that you can go and comment on their stuff. Because I was talking in a networking group earlier today, and we're
Mhm.
like, how can we help each other other than just referrals? And I was like, oh, share our content. And then I was like, wait, hold on. Right after I said that, I was like, that's actually not as good as if you comment.
Yes.
Comments will go a longer way. And
Mhm.
so we don't want to be unauthentic in this either. We're not going in there
No.
like, hey, I've used their services. They're fantastic. And you
No.
didn't. Like, we don't want that kind of stuff.
Mm-mm. Just authentic stuff.
Yeah, just more like, whoa, awesome. Yeah, I never thought of that. Or like, oh,
Mhm.
that's interesting,
Yeah, exactly. Because, a lot of times it's just the person, how many times you scroll through, and when you see people commenting, you stop and then you comment.
Yeah.
And I'm even guilty of that. I'm not even, it's not because I don't like being the first person to comment, which I know that is some people's deal. Because
Yeah.
some people, it's
First
like,
comment.
first comment, and I'm like, maybe they're going to be looking at my comment. What are they going to think about my comment? That's not my thing. But sometimes it just isn't like you're scrolling and you don't recognize it. But when you do recognize, like, oh, I'm going to say something too. Like,
Yeah.
so those comments do matter. They do matter having them there. And yeah.
Is it good to always reply, even if it's like nothing replyable? Like, oh, yeah, I like that. That's the comment.
Well,
Do you like heart it, or do you like say, thanks? Like, what do you like? Is it better to type it? Have you ever found that out?
Oh, as in doing a heart. Oh, you do want to leave a comment, even if it's the comment of a heart or thumbs up.
Okay.
A lot of times I'll use emojis as a comment, but when I can, as long as it's authentic, you don't want it to be unauthentic.
Right. Yeah.
Like, of course, sometimes when somebody says something like happy birthday, the best thing I can say is thank you. I appreciate that. You don't come back with a question to happy birthday. You understand what I'm saying? But
Yes.
if you can make a question, then you want to reply with a question, or you get them to answer your question, because now not only do you have a comment, but you have engagement with that comment. So you have several comments coming through, and that counts even more than just one comment.
So if you can't even comment the 2 comments you get.
Right.
And you can't even reply to them like they're your only fans. Oh, sorry. I can't say that.
Okay, fans only.
Oops. Yeah. Like
your fans only.
Dang it. They hijacked that phrase.
Fans only.
But anyways, like if you can't even do that, then how are you going to do it when you have millions? Like why in the heck do you want to, grow? And that goes back to like, you got to snowball into becoming that person.
Right.
And I think it starts now with who you have and what's around you.
And again, I think it goes back to that giving. If you give it out there, if you go out and make those comments, it'll come back to you. I mean, it just does.
Full circle. I love it when a podcast ends in the full circle and everything ties in as if we scripted the whole thing. But no,
we did. I had no idea what he was talking about today.
Yeah. Authentic conversations. I am a fan of don't prepare people as far as what questions and they're going to rehearse their answers.
Right.
I'm a fan of being so authentic that I don't do that. And Simon, who's that guy? Simon, I was going to say Simon Squibb. No, it's another one. Simon, he's big on quotes and motivational speech.
Oh,
he says the same thing. He does the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
And he purposely for email, like for when he interviews or he's interviewed, he's unprepared on purpose. Like you can be prepared in the like macro of what's going on.
Right.
And like, hey, we're just going to talk about your business and we're going to ask you questions based on your story. And we just want to be authentic. Boom, there's the prep. Instead of like, here's every single question that's pre-written that we're going to do. Because if I do that, I'm throwing out the script anyways. Because it's not going to be good.
First of all, it's going to sound like I'm reading.
Yeah.
That to me, I mean, I have to, I kind of know in my head where I want to go, and then as a guest, I didn't want my guests feeling like they have to practice what they're going to say either. Now, I don't, again, want them to be snowballed, but I do the same thing. It's like, we're going to talk about, your story, and and I always ask them too, what are some things you want, people to know about you so that I know to be prepared. But other than that, I say, let's just roll, because I think authentic is the best way.
Yep. So that's that. Next episode, we're going to continue a little bit more on like what really goes into launching a podcast. Okay. So look for that one. And then we'll see you later. So make sure to remember to keep on keeping on.